Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to take a look at, believe it or not, a used 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE 53. That's a mouthful, isn't it? I won't say that again through the whole video, at least not like that. But today we're going to take a look at this used model. It was actually traded in recently at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport, where I borrowed it from today. Special thanks to my friends at the dealership as always. We're going to do our typical tour and look at the features and the functionality and do a quick test drive and see if this is really a good used vehicle to purchase. I have to say thanks to today's sponsor for the video, Southern Automation Incorporated. We're using their shop today to film the video. If you are looking someone to help you out in the area of conveyor belts and packaging equipment, check out Southern Automation Incorporated. The link is down in the description of the video. Let's talk a little bit about styling and functionality. Anytime you see a Mercedes-Benz vehicle coming up behind you and you're wondering, is that an AMG? More often than not, you're going to easily be able to tell by the Panoramic grille. This grille right here is exclusive to the AMG line of Mercedes-Benz vehicles, and it signifies performance. You're going to see LED headlights here on the front end, nice and bright. Very easy to see when you're driving at night. And one of the interesting points that I want to bring up here has to do with these vents here on the outside areas of the front bumper. They aren't actually functional, or so they appear not to be, because they don't have any opening at all. But what that actually does is help to improve drag, ultimately improving gas mileage, because what happens is the air actually hits the area of the vent right here, and of course is going to go this way, of course to the left or to the right, depending on which side of the vehicle it's on, obviously. And there is an air curtain right here, and I'll show you a very unique view of that just to give you a perspective of what's happening there. And that is actually to improve aerodynamics when you're driving down the road and to give you the best potential gas mileage. What exactly is that gas mileage? What powers this model? Let's open the hood and take a quick look. Now that the hood is open, you're going to notice that it is open as wide as possible. That's not typical for most vehicles, for a hood to open that high up and have that big of an opening. And there's two things that can be done with that. Number one, if this model ever needs service, or when it's taken in just for basic service, that helps the technicians to work on the engine. If they ever have to pull the engine out, obviously that just makes things a whole lot easier. But if you're a gearhead and you ever want to show off your engine under the hood of your GLE 53, well, at Cars and Coffee or a car show or whatever the case may be, obviously that can have its advantages too, as far as how far you can move that hood up and out of the way, basically. As far as what's under the hood, it is a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder, 429 horsepower, not weak by any means, and 384 pound-feet of torque. This is a 4MATIC model, so all-wheel drive. The power is put to the ground through a 9-speed transmission. Multiple driving modes, of course, are available depending on what your situation is and or desires. Gas mileage comes in at an estimated 18 miles per gallon in the city, 21 out on the highway, and a combined total of 19 miles per gallon. And just a real quick note, if you're wondering about the side view mirrors, those are power folding side view mirrors with turn signal indicators built in. When you lock the vehicle, of course, they're going to automatically fold in. And with the rear liftgate back here, you have the rear roof spoiler, gives it that nice sporty look, the rear window wiper, and multiple ways to open the rear liftgate. There's a button right here above the license plate holder. There is also a button on the remote and an interior button. And if you're wondering about hands-free, yes, there is a motion sensor here. And hopefully you can see on the screen, you have the rear diffuser back here. It's going to be the furthest left area right here. I'll show you how that works real quick just so you can see. There's also a trailer hitch receiver here, so this model does have towing capabilities. I will put the cargo numbers as far as cargo space goes and towing capabilities. Depending on what you'll want to do, you can do some light towing with this model. You can raise and lower the rear of the vehicle with the air suspension system. There's a button right here to do that if you need to lower it down to maybe make things easier to load and or unload. Got a cargo cover right here. And of course you can slide, or not slide, but let's say lower those rear seats to maximize your cargo space depending on what your situation is. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the interior, starting here with the back seat. Now, let me just get in a position where I'm sitting straight up. Reasonable amount of headroom. Actually, I can stretch my legs out a little bit. I'm not cramped up back here, that's for sure. And it's going to obviously depend on where the driver and passenger seats are as far as how far back they may be. But as far as my overall comfort level here, very comfortable here in the rear seat area. Of course, you're going to have the dual air conditioning vents and connectivity back here. Now, if you're wondering about a panoramic sunroof, not in this particular model. There is a standard size sunroof, but no panoramic, just in the interest of fair reporting. But today we're going to do something when we hop into the front seat that I've actually never done in one of my videos before, something I've been trying to figure out how to do. I don't know why I didn't figure this out sooner, but now I have a very easy way to let you hear what the stereo system sounds like. So let's hop into the front and get started with our front seat tour. And as we hop up here into the front seat, one thing I neglected to mention earlier, just in case you're wondering, what size are the rims on this model? 22-inch AMG multi-spoke wheels, which you would expect on an AMG model like this, of course. And as we look at the interior here in the front, you're going to notice, of course, fully adjustable driver and passenger seats, seat memory settings on both sides, heated and ventilated seats as well. You're going to have the two 12.3-inch screens, the screen on the right being the touch screen. This is the MBUX system, and if you have wanted to have a touch screen system for a Mercedes-Benz vehicle, well, now it is available. And of course you can see the interior lighting here, the ambient lighting, a lot of customization there. 64 different colors total, to be exact, and you can go through, of course, and change the look of the dashboard a multitude of different ways. Through the steering wheel mounted controls on the left-hand side, get those nice large shifter paddles there. And the driver can, of course, control everything with the right hand and left side screens here, depending on what they want to do from the steering wheel without even taking their hands off. Very easy system to use. That is the AMG Performance steering wheel, by the way. Now, I mentioned we were going to listen to the stereo in this model. Let's do that right now using one of my videos. That way we don't get a copyright strike from YouTube. Okay, as you can hear right there, guys, that is actually off of one of my videos. I'll link it down in the description because it is actually a 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE 63, one of my absolute favorite vehicles. I won't spend a lot of time on that just so that we don't end up wasting a lot of time, but now you've heard what the stereo sounds like. Real quick here, with the touchscreen, there is a lot of customization, a lot of great features. You've got Mercedes that will assist you with a lot of different information. You can do something such as this. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
I'm cold.
I'm increasing the temperature on the driver's side to 74 degrees.
So there you go. That's one of many commands that you can give, questions you can ask, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to ultimately know what you can ask Mercedes, I don't want to say it too loud because she'll respond, you can actually say, what questions can I ask you? The answer is kind of long, about a minute or so, just so that you know what's there. And of course, you've got your climate control functionality here, several air conditioning vents throughout the front, and of course, the air conditioning vents in the rear. And as you can see, a lot of great ambient lighting here. Like I say, 64 different colors depending on what you want to do. You can also have Mercedes change that for you by simply saying change the ambient lighting to whatever color you want, and that will be taken care of. You do have the trackpad that's kind of reminiscent of the former system, the infotainment system for Mercedes-Benz, if you want to use that, if you don't want to get fingerprints on your screen or whatever the case may be, or maybe that's just what you're used to. That functionality is there. Okay guys, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, safety features. I'll list a partial list of safety features on the screen right now. And if you want to see a full list of the safety features on this GLE 53, check out the description of the video. There is a link to the Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport website that will give you anything you want to know. As long as this model stays in inventory, you can click on that link and see anything that maybe I didn't cover in the video, so we didn't make it too terribly long. The driving experience, probably about what you would expect. Quite a bit of fun, very responsive to everything you do. Let's see how we do with a launch. Wow. Even though it's not the big V8, the 4-liter V8, it still runs great, sounds great. Of course, the handling is wonderful, and it's going to obviously change a little bit depending on what mode you drive in. Drive around something on the road right there. I'm in Sport Plus, which is what you would probably expect out of me. That's typically what I like to drive in, Sport or Sport Plus, depending on what's available with these vehicles that I test drive on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel. Steering wheel nice and comfortable, obviously very responsive. I like the size of the shifter paddles on here too. Sometimes the shifter paddles are pretty small on some of the vehicles I have reviewed in the past, but not in this particular case. Everything nice and easy to get to, great visibility, and the ride quality is comfortable. Even though I'm in Sport Plus, the suspension is as stiff as it can get, basically, as far as what's available here. But ultimately, it's very comfortable. You go down into comfort mode, you're going to find out that it rides extremely well, but it's not bad here either. And what about exhaust crackles? Let's just downshift a little bit here. Don't know how well you could hear those crackles, but we'll try again when we get down the street a little bit here. But I have to say, depending on what your preference is, if you're happy with the turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, well, this is definitely something that's not going to let you down. It's not shy on horsepower by any means. Great acceleration. Mercedes-Benz actually employs a system for the turbochargers that allow basically the elimination of turbo lag. So you pretty much do not have that issue. If it's something you're ever wondering about. Some vehicles out there, obviously there is turbo lag to deal with, not with Mercedes-Benz. That has basically been engineered out in so many words. So let's see if we can give you an earful of the exhaust here. Definitely a great exhaust note for sure. Seating is comfortable. I like the bolstering within these seats. It's really a nice balance, I would say. It's enough to keep you and your front seat passenger as the driver in place when you're driving spiritedly, but not so much that it's uncomfortable. It's actually really perfect. Just the overall cabin, very well laid out, very nice materials. Everything is easy to get to. By the way, guys, I got a little carried away and forgot this is a used vehicle. What are my impressions? Well, if I didn't know any better, being that it is a 2021 model that has a little over 3,000 miles on it, I really couldn't tell the difference. I believe it was well taken care of by the previous owner. Couldn't tell you why they traded it in, but everything handled as if it was brand new, which basically it is, just broken in, a little bit over the break-in mileage that you would normally put on a model like this. But the transmission functioned great. I didn't sense any problems there at all. There was no hard shifting or any clunking or any issues like that. Steering was spot on. Everything seemed great. So ultimately, I'd say if you find a model like this with the amount of miles that are on it, and maybe you want to buy this exact one,
I'd say it's a pretty good buy.
And that is a tour of the 2021 used Mercedes-Benz GLE 53. Thanks to my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning me this model for the day. And thanks to all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.